nationally ranked number 10 Central Missouri is just days away from the 2014-2015 MIAA basketball season, but the Mules aren't done with early season non-conference opponents. Back at the Multi in Warrensburg, UCM is set for back-to-back games on Saturday, November 29th and Sunday the 30th. First up is Arkansas-Fort Smith out of the South Central region. The visiting Lions get a good start to the first half and pretty quickly take a 7-point lead on the Mules. We're only about 5 minutes in. TJ White creates an opportunity for himself with good defense and a steal. White drives all the way in, lays in the score. UCM trails 15-10. We're going to skip ahead to late in the first half. Arkansas-Fort Smith has had the lead this whole time, though not by much. That is until Jordan Epps is left open behind the three-point line. He drills it. We're tied 29-29 with 3:21 until the break. A minute later, Brennan Hughes gets the ball in the paint. Power dribble, spin, and through two defenders to get the score. Mules in the lead now, 33-32. With 1:13 on the clock, Preston Brunn steps inside the arc and hits a jumper. UCM up to a 4-point lead, 36-32. Less than 30 now. White tips a pass, takes control, and he is gone to the other end. Pretty easy layup for TJ there. Mules on top 38-32. Unfortunately, the balloon of momentum is popped when the Lions hit back-to-back threes in the last 7 seconds. The teams head to the locker rooms. We're tied at halftime 38-38. These highlights in the second half now. It's the Mules who come out hot. Kyle Wolf for three. It's good. 2 minutes in, UCM leads by 7, 45-38. Brennan Hughes takes it up to a 9-point lead with a short jumper. 15:24 on the clock. Dylan Deck gets his own rebound. Banks in the score the second time around, 53-44 Mules. UCM found some success with his little play to Deck on the block. He gets a good angle, rolls around and scores. 58-48 Mules with 13 minutes still to play. White gets a little stuck under the basket here. Not a problem. He passes out to Brad Woodson, who pulls up for three. 64-56 UCM with 9 minutes left. Brunn skips the ball over to Rakeem Dickerson. He drives under the basket, lays it in over his head on the other side. 3 minutes left. Mules up 76-69. UCM gets the crowd going with this one. Hughes throws down a dunk. Mules leading by 7. But as time runs out, Arkansas-Fort Smith goes on a little run. Seth Youngblood hits a three with a minute on the clock, and that makes it a one-possession game. The Lions then hit a few at the foul line, and for the second game in a row for UCM, we are headed to overtime, tied 80-80 in this game. White gets some good looks in extra time here. TJ hits a long two. Mules on top 84-81. Arkansas-Fort Smith hits some key threes with a minute to go. The Lions are in the lead 90-88. White calls for the ball on the block, rolls around the defender, banks it in and draws a foul, but he misses the free throw. We're tied again, 90-90, and time runs out on overtime number 1. Here we go in the second overtime. You guessed it, still tied, but Wolf is left open. He drains a jumper from the side. Mules on top 94-92. UCM still up 2 with 3.8 seconds on the clock. Fort Smith running an inbounds, and Devonta Thomas scores off of it. If you can believe it, we're taking this game to a third overtime with the Mules and Lions tied 99-99. Both teams just exhausted at this point. Key players have fouled out on both sides. Nick Youngblood has carried Fort Smith the whole way, and he continues it from way past the three-point line. He makes that bucket. He had 48 points in this game. Youngblood puts the Lions up by 3. Dickerson gives the Mules the lead back on a foul shot, and here's where you could feel the tide start to turn. 30 seconds on the clock when Sean O'Brien hits a short jumper. Mules bench goes wild. UCM up 107-104. Arkansas-Fort Smith calls a timeout. With 16 seconds left, the Lions call another timeout, one they didn't have, so that is a technical foul. Preston Brunn hits 2 from the line. It's 109-106 UCM. Tony Cochran added another free throw to put the Mules up 4, and Kyle Wolf finally finishes this game off with a 5-point lead for the Mules. In triple overtime, number 10 Central Missouri outlasts Arkansas-Fort Smith 111-106.
It's one of the games that I'll always remember for the rest of my life. You know, just another game that I was involved with up at Drake University against North Dakota State. Very similar, 3 overtime. Ben Woodside, he went for 61. Youngblood goes for 48 against us. I mean, it's just very similar, and it's a game that I'll never forget. You know, just the high level of play, especially on the offensive end from both sides, from us and from Fort Hays. And the Youngblood kid, I mean, he was tremendous, and He took over, and he made some incredible shots.
The Mules had 7 players score in double figures, 44 points coming from the bench, while grabbing 20 points off turnovers and 42 in the paint. After playing back-to-back overtime games, it's clear UCM didn't want to start off the season with a ton of easy wins. Head coach Doug Carlskent says the schedule reflects him wanting the Mules to come out fighting from the first tip-off of the season.
We wanted to challenge ourselves. We played a great schedule and played some good teams, and right where we want to be, 7-0 right now. Now we got to get better. There's a lot of room to get better for this team, but going 7-0 heading into conference play is exactly where we want to be.
A win in triple overtime may be exhausting, but it's actually a big booster for the team.
You know, it's great whenever you can win a big-time game like that, and we knew it was going to be an NCAA tournament-type game, given the quality opponent of Fort Smith. They were very good. They will be in the NCAA tournament probably again this year. They'll probably win conference this year. It was good for our guys to come together. We were down early in the game to fight back and to gut out a win when we got some guys that we count on that they were fouled out on the bench where we couldn't go to them in overtime situations. So it was good battling adversity in overtimes to fight through that and come out with a victory.
No rest for the Mules at all. After Saturday's big win, UCM turned right around, played host to Tabor College on Sunday. First half in this one, TJ White drives in, lays in a bucket about 7 minutes into the action. Game is tied 12-12. Tony Cochran left open from one of his favorite shooting spots, drains a 3. 17-15 Mules. UCM starting to open it up now. Rakeem Dickerson to Brennan Hughes. UCM up 26-18 in the first half. Let's move to the second half. White on a fast break rolls the score over the rim. Mules out to a 20-point lead, 58-38. Cochran shooting from the corner this time. Another three-pointer for Tony, 63-38 UCM. Jordan Epps drives into the lane, feeds Sean O'Brien for a quick dunk. UCM goes on to beat Tabor 77-62.
You know, we aren't the only team in America that's sore right now. You know, we're one of many teams that are going to have to battle through some soreness and some injuries, some nagging stuff, and it's good to see. You know, it's not only does talent win you games, but toughness, and those are the things that you got to battle through during a long course of a basketball season.
With the win, Doug Carlskent became the first Central Missouri head coach to start his first season 7-0. He was quick to credit the foundation that former head coach Kim Anderson laid down. Next up for the Mules is the first MIAA game of the season. UCM hits the road to Hays, Kansas for a Thursday night matchup with Fort Hays State. The Mules will go into that contest with a huge target on their backs, undefeated, and in the latest NABC Division II poll, Central Missouri rose up from number 10 to number 6. For UCMathletics.com, I'm Katie Smith.